Ashley.
I'm Matt.
And we've been dating for 2 years now. I don't know, we were just kind of looking around and
We realized that there's not a whole lot of videos out there on albinism.
which we have, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you could tell or not.
Yeah, I mean, the hair doesn't give it away or anything.
And so I guess we're just kind of making a video just to kind of explain a little bit about albinism for people who don't know. And maybe shed a little bit of light for people who have it. And maybe just provide a little bit of information for people who are curious.
We just wanted to touch on some points. So the first one is just like the general definition. Albinism is a lack of pigment in the hair, skin, and eyes. And it just means that
We're not Norwegian.
No, we're not. We're Swedish. But it just means that, like, we don't have color, basically. And it's a recessive gene that both parents must have in order for the child to have albinism. And even if both parents carry the recessive gene, there's only a 1 in 4 chance of the child actually being born with albinism because of that whole Punnett square in biology or whatever. Okay, so
I like it when they make it all like choppy, like ksh, hi, ksh, ho, ksh, hey, ksh. Why'd I say ho?
stop.
We're kind of here to provide the female and male perspective of people with albinism.
Yep, because there's really not a whole lot, especially of the male perspective. So I think that's really important for us to focus on a little bit.
Yes, one of the first things about albinism that is maybe not so noticeable unless you see us reading stuff from our phone.
Because of albinism, we are legally blind. A couple of parts of the eye, not necessary, a couple of parts of the eye need pigment to develop, like the macular and the fovea, I believe it is. And
She could be wrong, we don't know. Well, she probably knows, but
yeah, anyway, but since they both need pigment to develop, and we don't have that, they never fully develop. So, because of that, it results in us being legally blind. And legally blind just means that we have a visual acuity of 2200 or worse. And
now, they do range, though. I mean, not everybody with albinism is even legally blind. Some
true.
people have, we know of some people that have, you know, I guess on a normal perspective, they just have kind of bad eyesight as far as normal people go. Not like us. I mean, we have really bad eyesight.
It's pretty bad.
But it ranges. It's like
it
all
does.
over the charts.
It definitely does. And I know that's kind of confusing, and it's not just like albinism isn't really a cookie cutter kind of condition. I mean, it really does vary. And some people have, like, more colored irises. Most people, okay, let's just beat this stereotype right now. We don't have pink eyes, okay, or red eyes. We don't have that.
Nor have I ever had pink eye. Pink eye.
Yeah, that's good.
Just want to clear that up out there, YouTube.
Congrats. Anyway, but okay, we don't have that. I don't know where that got, but anyway, the thing with that is we don't have as much pigment in our eyes, but some people even have like brown eyes. So it's really kind of tricky, but the majority of people have like a light blue color, and that's because the blue...
You should show them because your eyes are prettier than mine.
Hold on. But they, like, the light blue is the one that requires the lightest pigment, and like my eyes and Matt's to a degree they almost look purple or like violet. They're not contacts. Lavender. But they're not contacts. And that's because, like, for example, my eyes, I have 2 of them. They're like a light blue color, but since I don't have much, like, any pigment, you can see through the iris to the red blood vessels behind it, so it looks purple. Or, I mean, a lot of people have blue, some people have green, some people have hazel. Like, it really ranges. I know that doesn't really make sense, but it's just the way it is.
Another thing regarding the eyesight, people are like, why don't you just wear glasses? And I'm like, because they don't help.
Yeah, they really don't.
See, once you get to our level of blindness, once you get to our side of town, right around here, everybody's kind of up here. Once you get right around Oh, you can't really see my hand. Well, right around here. Glasses don't make that much of a difference. I could be wearing my glasses, and I'm like, it makes this much of a difference.
Okay.
So
and people, sorry to cut you off a little bit.
She does it all the time.
Yeah, I do.
I'm used to it.
Okay. But like when we read, we really, or like if you see us texting or whatever, like we do this. Like Matt just showed you, we have to be like within an inch of our eye to see stuff. So that's not just us being challenged. That's just
being challenged.
Yeah, like that's just where we have to hold it to see. But the best analogy I think that I've heard as far as how we see is like how there's like a picture in a newspaper and how it, like you can tell what it is, but you can't see the fine details. Anyway, it gets really complicated. But basically, like, people think that our vision is blurry. It's not blurry. Like, we see quite clearly, actually.
Then again, we've never really borrowed anybody else's eyes, so
That's
we don't know.
true.
To us, it's clear.
And normal.
But there's no way to know for sure.
Yeah, so don't ask, how do you see? That's weird. Or what do you see?
How do you see? How about that?
Right?
Why don't you tell us how you see.
What? What's with that? Why would you say that? Anyway, but like that's the best.
Southerners have a different type of humor. I don't know what it is. I'm from California.
I'm from Georgia.
From Georgia. We're in California right now. She came to visit me.
Anyway.
For our 2-year anniversary.
Whatever. So,
don't mind her.
Don't mind him. Anyway, but like, so that's the best analogy that I've heard. Just like, you can tell what it is, but you wouldn't exactly be able to see every detail. Like, I could see you and see that you have eyes, but I couldn't tell you what color your eyes are. If that makes sense. Like, it's really, it sounds kind of weird, but that's just try to...
We're also not mean people. Even though I'm pointing at you and looking at you in a really mean way, we're not mean, actually, contrary to popular belief.
And we don't have powers.
But yeah, anyways, we're not mean. We're just blind. So a lot of times what ends up happening, here's what I do, and here's why it comes off mean. Because I used to be even nicer than I am now. Whoa, I know, hard to believe.
What?
But you're somebody I know, and I'm somewhere out in public, like the mall or something, and you're like, "Hey, Matt!" Right? Because I'm totally going to know exactly where you are from your, "Hey, Matt!" out in the mall. So, I'm looking around, and now this has happened to me before. Somebody close enough for me to identify, target, lock on, find them. They're like, "Hey, Matt!" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And, you know, that's really egotistical because even though I'd like to believe so, I'm not the only Matt in the world. And then some dude from over yonder comes up behind me and is like, "What's up, dude?" And then kind of gives me that look like, who the heck is that third party? And that's really embarrassing. So that's kind of why I just ignore you, unless you really go out of your way to get my attention, because chances are you're calling somebody else.
And okay, like, we're not snobby people. I mean, obviously, albinism doesn't say, like, "Oh, you're nice," because you can be, like, a snobby person with albinism, I guess. But the majority of us, at least that I know, are really nice people. But anyway, like, people think that, like, you wave, and we don't wave back. And it's not us trying to, like, we don't see you.
Oh, here's the one I get a lot. You say a good joke, or somebody else says a good joke, and like, "Oh man, that was awesome." Okay, I'm periph, not so good. All right, with the eyesight, periph, not so good. So you're like shaking out your hand, like, "Dude, don't leave me hanging." And then all of a sudden, oh, I notice that I'm leaving you hanging. It's it's not personal.
And it's awkward. Like,
the periph's not that great.
Like, just don't take it personally, because we really don't see you. And I mean, I don't know what else to say.
But that's kind of because we don't want you to baby us either. See, it's kind of a weird fine line. Because a lot of times we'll have, and we both have this, we have friends that will literally baby us, like, "Oh, there's a step. There's a step right there."
Sometimes
don't get me wrong.
We need that.
We need that sometimes. I don't know how many times, sometimes I've almost taken a dive, basically, down some stairs. Because they weren't clearly marked.
Like, when they're not marked and, like, they all look the same.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Or you got
really,
some sort of mesmerizing tile pattern going on the
or
floor.
like stone. Like
Yeah,
stones. Oh my gosh.
Or where there's just nothing casting a shadow because we have horrible depth perception.
It's not
so if something's casting a shadow, we got this. We're smart people. We can use our cognitive workings.
Albinism doesn't affect your mind, by the way. Like,
in fact, I've actually heard people with albinism are smarter.
That's what he wants to think.
No, I've heard that somewhere. I've heard it.
It doesn't. And we're like, I mean, I know we're like as blonde as it gets, but we're not like dumb blonde. I'm sure there's some dumb blondes though.
Anyways.
You know.
So, and then there's the other friends that just think we can do everything. Which, don't get me wrong, a lot of us are proud people. You know, it's kind of like I don't know. It's just like there's situations where they're like, oh yeah, come on, like, you know, they totally want you to do something that requires like a lot of eyesight, like going shooting. Yeah, never take us hunting. Never take us hunting. That's not a good idea. Just a bunch of other things, like, oh, like, and just little things. We lie to you all the time. I just want to let you know this.
Oh yeah, they're like, do you see that? And we're like, yeah.
We'll go along with it.
No.
We don't want to be the odd man out. Oh my gosh, you see that over there? As long as you're vague enough.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh my god. Dang, that's crazy. Oh wow.
Look at that.
We don't know what we're talking about.
No.
So like I said, it's kind of a fine line. We're not like completely like, oh, I don't know, where am I? But also, you know, we're not like, I mean, we don't have your eyesight, most likely. Unless you're one of us, then we do have your eyesight, most likely.
Holla!
So,
anyway. Okay, talking about fine lines, let's talk about this albino concept. So, don't use that. That's really offensive.
Let me add a little disclaimer here. Some people don't care.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, no, maybe I shouldn't say that. That might not be politically correct. We just don't like that word.
You know what he's thinking.
You know what I'm thinking. We don't like it when other people use it, obviously, because you're not one of us.
Yeah.
Unless you are. Either way, in general, I mean, we just don't like the word.
It's not even so much the word, it's the use of the word. Like, if you say, look at that albino, like, that's like saying, it really is. And it's like, that's like saying, look at that. It's
objectifying. Yeah. Not objectifying, but it's classifying a person by, like, you wouldn't say, you know, you'd feel bad for somebody who lost all their hair and everything like that from cancer. You wouldn't go like, oh, look at that cancer patient. You'd be like, oh my gosh, that poor lady.
Yeah, like it just really depends on the usage, and like, I mean, sometimes it's fine. Like, if you're describing something, I guess, like, a lot of people say, like, look at that albino squirrel, because they're kind of cute, actually. But I
just don't like the word. It just, I don't know. There's something about it that bothers me.
But I mean, just most of all, like Matt said, different people, like, have different levels of, like, I either like that or I don't like that, or sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. But overall, like, I mean, if you know somebody with it, I mean, you can ask them. Like, I mean, you can't be held accountable if you don't know. But overall, like, we're mainly talking about, like, if you see somebody, don't just say, look at that albino. Like, that's really rude, first of all. And it's not necessary. Like, we're people before we're albinism. Like, we're people with albinism. Does that make sense? Like, just don't do it. Like, watch out.
Another thing, going back to the eyesight, is, like, sports. I know there's a lot of us that are actually in sports.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely keep an open mind. I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, like I said, we can achieve
I know people, like,
things like anybody else, but...
Sorry. I know people that, like, they play football, and, like, I mean, and that's a sport that I'd be scared of. But see, like, it's a personal preference. If you want to do something, you can make it happen. And that's, like, the main thing. But you just have to know how to go about it. But, like I said, they're football players. I tried to play soccer when I was little. That didn't work out for me because the ball hit me in the face because I didn't see it in time.
There's just certain limitations.